so it's my privilege to be here with you tonight to share with you how to write killer headlines. So keywords, SEO, and the internet. There are two schools of camp on this. There are the purists who say, just write for the humans. All those keywords and all that stuff, it doesn't really matter. And then you have the SEO people and the people who care about ranking and traffic, and they go, oh, no, you've got to have keywords in there. And actually, it's kind of a combination of both people are right, because the purists now have access through keyword research to the mind of the reader. They now can know what vast numbers of people want to read about, because they can see that there's a huge interest in this keyword phrase. And so it's kind of a combination of both. The SEO people, they get their way because they get the keywords that rank, and then the purists, they get to know what's really important and what's trending. And so it's kind of a combination of the two of them. I don't know, how many of you have ever actually done your own keyword research? About half of you? You realize that it's fairly easy, but it can be time consuming. And those of you who've done your own keyword research, there's kind of a sweet spot with those words. You don't want to choose ones that are too popular, because why?
Too much competition.
Too much competition, you'll never be found. And then if you choose just a one or two word keyword, usually you're not going to get as much traffic as if you choose a niche phrase, or if you choose a long tail keyword. You're going to get less traffic, but it's going to be much more specific and targeted for what you're looking for.
Don't you use both, though?
You can. It depends on how much you want to get found. I would say that niche phrases are also easier for you to write from the human perspective and not writing for the robots or the Google bots. I would say you would want to use maybe a combination of them. When you speak the language of your audience, you attract more subscribers, you attract more links, retweets, social bookmarks, and more relevant traffic. How-tos. And I would remind you that I've got this in here like 5 times, because this is really important. You have to understand why these headline structures work. You can't just take the template and go, this is what the template is. Let me just use this template, without understanding why it actually works to draw people to you. I've got this in here a couple of times to just remind you of that. Most sought after, of course, the topics are the how-tos. Most people want to know how to do something. The how-to and do-it-yourself videos are very, very important to people because it saves them time. It's how to do it faster, easier, better, how I can have a happier life in less time, how I can get things done. One of the most famous how-to headlines, of course, is how to win friends and influence people. And this has a dual benefit to it, because it's like how to win friends and influence people. So the underlying thought is, if I win friends, automatically I have the ability to influence people, including the friends that I want. This is a really powerful headline. It's kind of brilliant. The structure of this is how to, the benefit number 1, and benefit number 2. This is like a dual benefit how-to. Here are some other examples of how-to headlines. How to save time and money and get things done. How to save time and get things done. How to get a better job and make more money. How to save money and retire rich. Any questions about anything so far? Benefit number 1 and benefit number 2 actually have to be related. They have to be fairly closely related to be powerful. It's a kind of a cause and effect relationship. The dual benefit on the how-to structures will always work if they're really related closely. You'll get substantive, and if you follow up in your copy with things that reinforce those benefits to people. Here's another how-to. How to do some mundane task that gives you a rewarding benefit. This one is how to get your mortgage that saves you money. How to get a mortgage that cuts your monthly payment in half. How to get a mortgage that gets you in your dream home while saving you $937 a month. That's pretty long. I don't know if I would use that one, but it could be compelling for somebody who's in a mortgage. I would maybe reconstruct that one a little bit shorter. But you take a how-to phrase and you add the word that, and then you figure out what the top benefit of that is. And that's what you put there. Here are some how-tos without using the word to. How I improved my memory in one evening. How I made a fortune with a fool idea. How a new kind of clay improved my complexion in 30 minutes. How one easy tweak makes Windows crash-proof. So you're still making a promise, but when you omit the word to, you kind of add a curiosity factor to it. A little more intrigue. There's 3 kinds of how-tos: the dual benefit, the mundane task that reap rewards, and the how-to without the to. Questions on any of this? The more that you focus on the benefit to the readers, the more readers you're actually going to have, because they're going to feel like You made a promise in your headline, you delivered it with what you wrote, so they're really happy with you and they're going to be interested to see what else you write that's going to be valuable, that will save them time, money, and improve their life, make them happy. That will increase it. And they're going to retweet it, they're going to send a link to people. Here's 7 reasons why lists work. Reminder, you have to understand why the templates work in order to be effectively using them. Headlines, lists, reasons, secrets, type, ways of specific promises are made. They're perfect for demonstrating your expertise and mastery of your subject. They also boost readership and possibly generate valuable backlinks for you. Lists, everybody uses lists. How many of you are attracted to posts that use lists? Why are you attracted to them, Ted?
Easy to read. They're they bullet point what each going to have in it.
Okay. Anybody else? Why are you attracted to them?
Because they're much easier to read, and I can figure out what is actually of interest to me and skip all the mundane stuff that's not relevant.
Okay. It's very, very popular. Lists are very easy to do. Here's an example of one list. Do you recognize the early warning signs of high blood pressure? People want to know about potential dangers. They want to be aware and alerted. These kind of headlines work really well. 10 ways to beat the high cost of living. This is a classic, and it will only flop if you can't actually deliver the result in the body of your text. 5 familiar skin trouble. Commiserating with your readers about things that they're upset about. You know, high cost of housing, high cost of fuel, getting into their space. What is it that they're having a problem with? What is it that they're challenged by? When you start getting into their space and commiserating with them and then meeting it with, here's a solution for you, they might really decide you have the solution. You might get that call, you might get the job. And then here's an example of the 4th list. 6 types of investors. Which group are you in? People like to self-identify. Oh, what group am I in? Would anybody be interested in clicking on an article that said this, if you were an investor? Wouldn't you be interested to know what kind of groups they were that they were classifying people into? How to give your children extra iron. These 3 delicious ways. And this is kind of an interesting combination because it has a how-to headline with a list kind of mixed in. So they've got the list, these 3 delicious ways, but how to give your children. So it says a combination how to and a list. Here's another one. It says free book tells you 12 secrets to better lawn care. This is a kind of a title and headline you would use when you're doing a webinar, a training, an ebook, something free that you're giving away. This one is a little more controversial. It's like 76 reasons why I would have paid you to answer why it would have paid you to answer our ad a few months ago. This one's a little bit more gutsy and out there. It's like 76 reasons, and they're giving themselves a little bit of clout and credit by referring to an ad they did a couple months ago, so there's kind of like a build-on effect there. This one, you know, because of the absurd number of reasons, you might want to just read it just to see what it says. In part 3, which is the next video, we will discuss 10 surefire headlines that always work, 9 proven sales headlines, 7 killer headlines, and 5 risky headlines to use. Thank you for joining me in parts 1 and 2. I hope you're getting a lot of benefit from this and will be using this to bolster your business and your sales. I'd love to hear from you, and please subscribe.